To most people, dinosaurs are large, extinct reptiles related to crocodiles and which dominated the globe for over 100 million years. Many scientists place the extinction date of all non-avian dinosaurs at 66.043 million years ago. However, a very small group of people actually contest these claims. In the deepest, darkest, most untouched regions of the Congo rainforest and in the depths of the murkiest rivers supposedly dwell a living treasure. This is a brief history of the Mokele Mbembe. The Mokele Mbembe is claimed to be a roughly elephant-sized sauropod, though some depictions have it resembling a plesiosaur like the Loch Ness Monster. Most accounts involve a large, grey-skinned animal, sometimes with a single horn or tusks. They are said by the indigenous people to kill large animals such as hippos and elephants, but they don't eat them. Instead, the animal is a herbivorous giant. Accounts of a large, undiscovered reptile lurking in the Congo may date back to the late 18th century. In 1776, there was a book published by this person, whose name is on screen, who I'll just call Proyet. The book details an account from around the same time period. In the Western Congo, missionaries had reported the existence of a large animal. On the basis of tracks they had discovered, to quote the section of the book, the missionaries observed, passing along a forest, the trail of an animal which was not seen, but which must have been monstrous. The marks of the claws were noted along the ground, and these formed a print about 3 feet in circumference. The arrangement of these impressions indicated that the animal was walking, not running. The distance between the footprints measured 7 to 8 feet. Despite these captivating early reports of a large, undiscovered reptile in the Congo Basin from the 18th century, they aren't widely recognized as being the earliest reports of the creature. Some skeptics cite the earliest account of the creature to originate from the German merchant Karl Hagenbeck in 1909. He claimed to have heard stories from the Africans and European colonists of the Congo of some kind of saurian. To the native Congolese people, it was the Mokele Mbembe, but to Hagenbeck, it was a brontosaurus. Despite skeptics generally citing 1909 as the earliest account of the Mokele Mbembe, this may not be true depending on if you find a 117-year-old story reliable. The Last Haunt of the Dinosaur was a horror story published in 1908 following 2 explorers who encounter a sauropod in southern Africa. This story may also reference the Mokele Mbembe, though it's more strongly based on the less Congolese reports of the animal and the more South African accounts. Next, let's discuss the lungfish and the unicorn from 1941, later changed to exotic zoology in 1959. In this book, written by Willy Ley, there is a report by a German captain who conducted surveys of the German colonies in Cameroon. In these 1913 surveys, the captain heard stories of a reptile called the Mokele Mbembe, allegedly living in the jungles of the region. This manuscript was never published in a formal scientific paper, but it's another seemingly credible early account of the Mokele Mbembe. Over the next century or so, more expeditions were launched to attempt to find the Mokele Mbembe, proving that dinosaurs existed in Central Africa. None of these expeditions have ever found hard evidence of a sauropod living in Africa, with at most images and casts of footprints, along with grainy videos to show for their efforts. In the majority of accounts, the Mokele Mbembe is described as a large reptile, specifically the size of a hippopotamus, elephant, or even larger. They typically are said to have a long neck, long tail, and grey elephant-coloured skin. The majority of these stories have it as being a semi-aquatic animal similar to hippos or pinnipeds. So does the Mokele Mbembe actually exist? Well, let's examine who is actually searching for the cryptid. You may see sources online claiming that several Bantu and Lingalan cultures have stories of the Mokele Mbembe. However, these people have been routinely visited by the same groups, such as explorers and interviewers. Not to mention, these interviewers are often religious. Specifically, they are believers in a specific section of Christianity. This is young earth creationism. Young Earth creationists are people who believe in stories such as Adam and Eve and the Great Flooding of Noah's Ark, and the Earth being only 4 to 10,000 years old at the most. You see where I'm going with this. These religious quote unquote explorers are attempting to spread their beliefs and ideology to the native Lingalan speakers who apparently know exactly what a brontosaurus is. In short, it's hard not to be skeptical of these supposed eyewitness accounts. That's not even taking into consideration the extremely grainy images and flawed casts of footprints. I don't believe these for a second, especially when images are taken from a distance. Also, the Mokele Mbembe appears to be a colonial invention, as almost all stories about it appear to be inspired by old Western depictions of sauropods, all of which are usually from the early 20th century, which are now outdated. To conclude this brief look at the Mokele Mbembe, I'd just like to say that I personally would love it if sauropods still existed in the Congo. I mean, who wouldn't? When people debunk cryptids, especially scientists, it's not that they don't like the idea of a sauropod dwelling in the Congo. It would be the scientific breakthrough of the millennium. But science isn't about the what if, it's about the what is. Well, just imagine how cool it would be to see a real life Mokele Mbembe in the flesh. Just standing in front of such an animal would give anyone a sense of awe and amazement. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the like buttons and subscribe to my channel. If you want to hear more about the amazing life that calls the planet home, then vote in my next poll. I'll see you later.